Hello and welcome back to another video on custom post types and taxonomies. Let's talk about the custom taxonomy which we have registered as the genre taxonomy. Let's look at taxonomy.php file and genre.php file. The register taxonomy function accepts taxonomy slug object type which is a post type. For example, let me explain it. Post type is an independent thing, but taxonomies are dependent on the custom post types. You cannot register a taxonomy without having or without assigning it to a custom post type. That's why we have to provide a post type where these taxonomies belong to or are assigned to the post type and the arguments. So here in the genre taxonomy, we have passed a genre taxonomy slug. In the array, we have passed the movie. So we want to register this taxonomy to movie. If you want to display or assign it to a post as well or to a page, you can just add it here. Now, if you go back and just refresh, you will see in the post there is the genre taxonomy, and in the pages also there is this genre taxonomy. We don't need it right now, but you can pass the array of post type slugs if you want to register a post taxonomy to multiple posts. And these are labels. Similar to the custom post type labels, labels are used to manage genre taxonomy labels. You can add new genres, and every other label you can see here edit or update the genre messages. You can manage it through the labels. And then similarly, we have arguments. We have hierarchical. We have already talked about this. You can also provide a description, then public, whether you want to make this taxonomy publicly available, similar to a custom post type. We can also have an archive page for taxonomies, similar to movies archive page. For example, let's go to genres. We have two thriller movies. If I click on view, you can see an archive genre thriller archive page. The archive page of the genre taxonomy with the thriller term. So the thriller genre has a list of movies that will be displayed here. Okay. You have show UI, show in menu, show in nav menus, show in REST base, REST namespace, show tag cloud, whether we want to show a tag cloud widget control or not, and a few other options such as show admin column and everything else listed here. For example, show admin column argument is whether to display a column for the taxonomy on its post type listing or not. If you go here to the movies, you will see categories and tags, but you can't see the genre taxonomy. So probably this argument can be used. So if I just copy this thing and pass it here and pass the true argument, okay, and this will display the genre taxonomy here. We can also remove these categories and tags from here because we don't need them. So let's go to the movie.php file and I'm just removing it. This is just an example we have added. So now you can see a genre taxonomy as well. So what genre terms assigned to these movies can we display it over here? This is for custom taxonomies. Again, this kind of information can be directly accessed from the WordPress core. We always recommend going through the WordPress core files to learn more about all the WordPress function and its features. As mentioned previously, capabilities, rewrite, and everything will be covered in later videos. Almost all the arguments are the same. Only some of the arguments will be different. You can go through all the arguments if I miss some arguments here. This video is focused on how we can register a custom taxonomy. What are the different arguments and why it's very important to learn about every argument. Because at some point for developers, these things are very important to know. And that's why we are learning it right now in this video. Now, in the register taxonomy function, you can see it stores all the information in WP taxonomies, a global variable, and it creates the WP taxonomy. This also provides the filters and set props. You can use this as a taxonomy argument filter, that is, to filter the argument before registering the post type. So you can always modify it if the third-party plugin is registering the custom taxonomies. If you want to change the argument, you can use this filter. Also, you can use the register taxonomy args hook for directly targeting specific taxonomies. And you don't have to rely on conditional statements for targeting particular taxonomies. These are very helpful we have to add a couple of things. For example, movie updated messages for whenever they update the movie or anything. So, for example, let me just add here. I'm just commenting out this code. So, this won't be executed. Now, if I go to this post and edit this post, write updated and save this, in the left hand corner, you can see this pop up post updated and view movie. So, these are post updated messages used to update the different updated messages. So instead of having a post updated or default labels, we can modify it based on our content types. Similarly, for bulk update messages mean that you can click on bulk actions, edit, and apply whatever changes you want. What messages are displaying, those will be displayed here. Now, another argument that I want to talk about is show in REST. This is used to make sure that this post type is available in the REST API or accessible through the REST API. But this is very helpful to enable the block editor. So for example, if I just pass this as false and go to edit the post, you can see the classic editor instead. Because the block editor uses the REST API to fetch and store the post data. So to use the block editor, we have to pass the show in REST as true. Just in case you forgot to pass this argument, and this argument by default is set to false. If you go in here and the show in rest and the default is false. Okay, so we need to include this by default. You have to pass this argument and set it to true to use the block editor. So if I just go and edit the post now, you can see the block editor now. This is very important. Okay. Yeah, so that's all about learning the custom post types and custom taxonomies. Now I have explained most of the things. Here is some proverbial homework for you. Go and register custom post types and custom taxonomies. Go through those functions and see what the other arguments are. If I have missed any arguments, learn about them, make some changes, and see how it affects the WordPress admin and the front end as well. This will give you a far better understanding of the custom post types and taxonomies. I hope you do all the practicals and go through them. Always learn in depth as we just don't want to become users. Knowing just how to register a post type or about a few arguments, but not all arguments won't help. You should know all the arguments and what are the possibilities for how and when these things have been introduced so that we can also manage the WordPress version compatibility. Let me give you an example. For example, we talked about registering a post type argument filter, okay, to filter the arguments. This filter was introduced at 4.4.0. So if you're using this filter and your plugin is installed on a WordPress version less than 4.4, then this filter won't be executed since it's the 4.4 and currently it's a 6.7.1 version. It's been a long time since then and most of the users have been updated to the newer versions. But still, this kind of information is very helpful for the developers. Suppose you're developing the plugin for all the different users, and if it's available publicly to use, so these things are very important. These things we can easily know from exploring the WordPress code. You don't need a search engine, so go ahead and explore the WordPress code base. Thanks for watching this video. See you in our next video. Jai WordPress!